Dr. Dillingham, I want to personally thank you for what you're undertaking to do. It's a Herculean effort to complete the census this year in the midst of a pandemic. I wish you all the best of luck, and Congress stands ready to support you any way we can in any essential information or mandate once this is completed. My district is a representation of how difficult the census can be to compete. 4 of my 18 counties in my district have 100% of their population living in hard-to-count neighborhoods. I spent last year making sure that I visited each one of these counties, and I can tell you from firsthand experience how rural my community in West Virginia is. And this has only been exacerbated by the coronavirus and the pandemic, but actually in a way it helped us with this because we were very slow to get the pandemic, and we haven't had it to the proportion that has gone on in the country. It's critical that we count each of our constituents, and then once we have that count, that we are apportioning congressional seats to each of the states fairly. As an American citizen, the representation you have in the federal government should always be fair and accurate. Counting people living in the United States illegally in apportionment is an attack on our democratic institutions and seeks to take away the voice of the American people. I strongly support President Trump's actions to protect the sanctity of our constitutionally mandated process for apportionment and protecting the voice and the representation of the American people in Congress. Is the first 2020 census counting of all the people in the United States, regardless of legal residency status, yes or no?
Congresswoman, I don't want to get into the details of people that may be not establishing residency, may be temporary. That was another discussion with the Congressman. But your question, I think, goes to the heart also of the last question and comment. We are absolutely dedicated to a complete and accurate count of the people residing in the United States. And I do think that we were poised, I think, not to have one of the worst, but in fact to have the very best census ever, and that remains our goal. So we have not only embraced all sorts of innovations, all sorts of technologies, but our goal is to have the very best count possible, a complete and accurate count of everyone.
Thank you. Does the apportionment process play any role in how the census is conducted, or is congressional apportionment only tabulated once the census count has been concluded?
We do the complete census count of everyone, and then we are looking, particularly as pointed out, at other data sources to determine whether we can identify a group that the President has recommended to subtract from the apportionment count. It's a tabulation. So we will have a complete and accurate count, but we are also working to determine the data and methodologies that might supply that additional information. Again, we're a statistical agency and a data producing agency, not a policy agency.
And that is how you will be able to implement the apportionment memorandum, correct?
That is the way we are proceeding. You are correct, Congresswoman.
All right, thank you. I yield back my time.